jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's going on, everyone? Salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official, no negotiation needed, period. Hey, they starting back up, y'all. Shout out to the chat. Jay in the building, Mike in the building, Big Buns and Boxing in the building, NYT in the building. I just want to talk to the side chick boxing right quick. Just want to ask y'all a little bit of questions. Boxing, of course. I say, have you not heard of the news? It's possibly going down in September. I said, do you remember when you first heard the news? And do you understand that this is the biggest fight? This is the biggest fight between two of the greatest of this era. I say, have you heard the drums, baby? Do you feel your heart thumping, maybe? But I'm telling Canelo, is no more running, no more ducking. Ooh, you got hell to pay. It's coming real soon. I say, it's coming real soon, baby. It ain't no changing, no rearranging. September's gonna be here before you know it. I said, do you hear me? Do you hear what I'm telling you? September will change the sport forever, 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 forever. September will ever, forever change the game as we know it. Oh, I say, do you? I'm asking boxing, yo, do you understand that the greatest is here? I want you to reach out to Canelo and say, hold your head up and have no fear, because Turki Al-Sheikh has made this fight, and there's nothing that he can do to run away from it. Oh, I say, oh, I'm so, oh, can't you hear me? Oh, he's in trouble, baby. Somebody need to tell him that I say, you are in trouble. You're about to get your ass whooped. Hey, shout out to everybody on deck, man. Um, as you all know, WCS will absolutely be on throughout the year until this fight actually graces itself under the lights for the fighter's introduction. And this is one of the most epic clashes of this century. People tend to say it's all these other collateral fights or what they are. They just don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get how big this fight is, how much money is going to be involved in this fight. But let me start off by saying this about Canelo. From what I'm hearing, right, Canelo has potentially signed a 3-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. All right. So with that being said, I seriously doubt that it's going to be some BS fights. Now, of course, the first fight, if indeed William Skull is on deck to for that unification bout for Canelo titles and defend his, for super middleweight undisputed, I can see, okay, that being a gimme. But what I'm even more curious about is asking the question: is Crawford Canelo, will they have a rematch? All right. When I hear 3-fight deal, is it contingent? You know what I'm saying? On the winner or whatever. Because if it is indeed a rematch, that means Canelo will absolutely make over 100 million in 3 fights with Turki Al-Sheikh. If I'm off, I'm off. Like I said, I'm not at the tables or whatever. But if by chance it's a 3-fight deal, Canelo would definitely get over 100 million in my opinion. Why? Because let's just exclude Skulls. He's gonna get some millions for Skull, yo. Skull gonna get his highest payday. Then you have to look at the undisputed. It's gonna get some money for both fighters. And then if it's a rematch, that means Canelo and Crawford will gross. Crawford may even gross over 100 million, and Canelo over 100 million. But ultimately, Canelo will be the one to fare incredibly when it comes to his monetary gain out of a 3-fight deal. Incredible. One thing you'll never hear me say really is speaking about a fighter's money in a bad way. Oh, they shouldn't get this, they shouldn't get that. No. It's good. It's good. But I just wanted to get that out the way because if they have a rematch clause, Blunts, anybody else that may have heard something that's out there in the streets, because I don't spend all my day reading about boxing. But if you all have heard something else that it's a 2-fight deal with a rematch clause contingent, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be great for both fighters. Now, there's an article that came out, of course. Reading is great for the mind, body, and soul. We're going to get to that. Boxing News 24. I just wanted to make y'all aware that, it's an early spring. Somehow, how you get, in the winter, it's a lot of insects and everything that's in cocoons and webs and underground sleeping and shit like that. It seems like the haters have awakened. For real, the haters have awakened. Instead of them just saying they're giving me attention because it was a little warm out there after the snowstorm down here. No, they're saying, oh man, here you go again, D-Rod and Crawford. No, we can't use D-Rod no more. That's over. That's over. That's old, stale. It doesn't make any sense, especially to a person like me. I kept the same energy about who I supported, period. So now you have to ask the question, why are you not looking at the magnitude of this fight? The magnitude of this fight is just to be alive, to experience all these grand, changing fights, right? These historic fights that's changing, even the heavyweight undisputed. I mean, to be, how you put it? I wouldn't even say conscious, but as a boxing fans, to be able to witness that not once, but twice, with the two top guys, Usyk and Fury, it was crazy. For real. Just to witness all the undisputed and unified championship fights that we've been able to be a part of 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about the short roster that Crawford was on, with B Hop and Taylor at one point in time. I mean, time goes by so very fast. Just witnessing Terrence Crawford, how his name was up at him and Spence was just like binded together cohesively throughout the boxing airwaves and conversations, right? And finally, through all the stress, agony, fragmented, severed relationships on this YTC, we finally got to fight. Now, it's a part of that fight that sticks with me. That some people are trying to say. Some people are trying to insinuate that, yeah, we put all, the Errol Spence fans put all their eggs into him going in there beating Crawford based off what they wasn't willing to accept, and that was his accomplishments, right, in boxing. All right. So when the fight ended the way it did, he made it look so easy. They're trying to insinuate we may have a same scenario, but yet Canelo is going to be the one delegating the punishment. And I said, you have two different fighters. You have two different fighters. Crawford's not going in here underestimating Canelo Alvarez. I'm assuming Canelo Alvarez is not going here underestimating Crawford. Looking at them both as very mature fighter lifestyle type of fighters. You know what I'm saying? That understands this is a dangerous fight going both ways. For real. It's a dangerous fight for Canelo. It's a dangerous fight for Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Just think, several months ago, people was up here talking that nonsense, saying that they just didn't want to identify it as being worthy. So they tried to tag it with an exhibition fight. And look, most of the time when you have real, true licensed fighters and you tag them with exhibition, it's disrespectful because now you're saying it's a fake fight. You know what I'm saying? But not to mention there's paperwork attached to this fight. There's contracts, first and foremost, license, and then you have to think about the commission, promoter, who's putting this together. Now, this is nowhere close to even being in the stratosphere or the galaxy of an exhibition. This is a real life fight, y'all. This is a mega fight. There's no other word to put to it. This is an extraordinary special fight. Let's get to the article that was written, right? And once again, I enjoy going to the Bias Boxing News 24. And this is Canelo Alvarez, boxing first real mega fight in ages. Canelo versus Crawford. And look, this is not by the hater himself, Chris Williams, okay? So it goes to say after years of mismatches, ducking, and Twitter callouts, we finally have a real super fight. Saul Canelo Alvarez is set to square off against Terrence Bud Crawford on September 13th in Las Vegas. And yes, pigs might actually be flying because this fight is as improbable as it gets. Crawford uphill battle, okay? Now this, look, this is by Amy Kaplan. Let's get one thing straight. Terrence Crawford, a natural 147-pound welterweight, is jumping up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo. This is the new article posted the 13th, okay, which was yesterday. 3. This guy didn't exactly look like a knockout artist at 154 in his one fight there. But sure, why not test your limits against a guy who's been smashing people at 168 pounds and even held his own at 175. Sounds reasonable. Bud's 38 years old, by the way. Okay? So, once again, I'm going to hold them accountable. Stop bullshitting the readers. Crawford is not 38 years of age right now. All right? It feels good just to addition ages to make your article seem that much more important, valid. No, you're lying. He's not 38 yet. It goes on to say, most fighters at that age are considering retirement, not booking fights against one of the most dangerous men in the sport. But hey, there's probably a Brinks truck parked in Crawford's driveway as we speak. So who are we to judge? See, that's why I like coming over here, reading these articles, because it really gets you to think. Like, you know, dealing with a lot of these people on the YouTube Central, you have to question yourself, say, where is the aptitude when you have to draw common sense? Why can't you hydrate yourself off, you know, common sense type decisions when reading these articles? Why are you so influenced? A lot of these cats are influenced. They'll take an article like this and say, see what they said right here? No, boxing is not a Crawford-centric favorable outlet. All right. It says Vegas knows what's up. Odds makers at betonline.ag aren't buying into the underdog fairy tale. They open with Canelo as a minus 150 favorite and Crawford at plus 120. That's already shifted too. Canelo minus 185, Crawford plus 155. Translation: the size difference isn't just real, it's ridiculous. And bettors are flocking to Canelo like it's Black Friday at Walmart. Okay? They said the bettors are flocking to Canelo like it's Black Friday at Walmart. Okay. They said, can Bud shock the world? They said right here. Can Bud shock the world? Crawford is one of the best pound for pound fighters out there, no question. But this is less pound for pound and more pound for pound, plus 50. If he somehow beats Canelo, they need to rewrite the history books, build him a statue, and crown him the king of all combat sports. But let's be real, Canelo has spent years turning natural super middleweights into punching bags. And now a welterweight, all bet, a brilliant one, is supposed to survive that. Good luck, bud. You'll need it. So when you read articles such as this, even though they're posing under a different alias, they're not speaking the truth. I like reading Boxing News 24 because they're so easy to decipher. They're extremely biased. You know what I'm saying? They come up here and say, after years of mismatches, okay, ducking and Twitter callouts, we finally have a real super fight. Why would they compare mismatches, ducking, Twitter callouts, right? And link it up to this fight when your title says boxing first real mega fight in ages? That's why I'm saying methamphetamines are real. Crackheads are real. You know what I'm saying? It's some crackheads out there that's writing articles. You're going to speak of mega fight right here. Not only a mega fight in ages, but you said the first real mega fight. But all you do down in here is you allow the content for which you wrote not to match up to your title. You're just shitting on Terrence Crawford and you place him at 147 pounds. Not to mention he was undisputed there. Not to mention he's a current reigning champion at 154. So why would you still be placing him within the statutory limits of being a 147 pounder? It's amazing because usually they say he's a 135 pounder. I mean, How long did he stay at 147, vice 140 versus 135? How long did he stay there? You know? But at the end of the day, it just goes to show you it's January and this isn't going to get any cleaner. There's going to be so much propaganda, so much false advertising about this fight. And it's cool because a lot of us is here and in the chat. We was there for the changes of season when it came to Crawford and Spence. We was there, yo. We went through seasons after seasons after seasons, talking and talking and talking. And you know, I went through the Deontay Wilder Arctic freeze over. You know what I'm saying? I went through that. So when it came to Bud and Spence, it was one of those deals like I was pretty well acclimated to the inclement weather. I was pretty much acclimated. But something I did find out is that no matter who you try to establish an organic friendship with or bond on this YouTube when it comes to certain fights that involve certain fighters, you're always going to have that person, man, that you find out they cannot separate one from the other. That means online social media, vice personal relation. You're going to find out people getting extremely mad just based off who you support as a fighter. This is not politics now. This is not saying the president who was convicted, he's going to be taking office soon. This is boxing. This is boxing, a sport that's been around forever and a day, man. It's going through changes as we know it. Do y'all remember just recently outside the back end of waiting on Spence to say to give the check mark, the thumbs up on whether he was gonna fight Crawford in the rematch? I mean, he met the 30-day requirement. He activated the rematch clause, but he didn't adhere to anything after that heading into 2024. Except we end up getting the word that he wasn't going to be able to attend the rematch. But Crawford did everything right, but was still, castigated because of Spence pulling out of the fight. But do you remember, people? Do you remember the energy? Like, what were most people talking about at the beginning of 2024? Talking about? They was talking about a fight date, potentially. This is before Errol Spence went live on IG and didn't say shit. And he came out with a motherfucking Reese's Buttercup, package with some duct tape on there for an eye patch. And we was waiting to see how that was going to happen. But on top of that, we was hit with the IBF stripping Terrence Crawford of his title. After we waited so long to see it happen, there's no way that we was going to see Errol Spence go in there and fight Bud Crawford for the titles. Why? Because for one, he didn't have all his titles anymore. And two, it was always said that they was going to contend at 154 next. You know what I'm saying? So we was kind of trying to figure out what's going to be next. This is just a talk at the top of the first semester of 24. We was like really wavering, trying to figure out, are we going to get a Crawford Spence fight? And then it came out, boom, we're not going to do it. So now all the carnival, I'm talking about carnival never have a lack of positions and openings for clowns. And what better circus than the YouTube Central coming to a parking lot near you? You feel me? Coming to a parking lot near you. YouTube Central always have openings for clowns. So therefore, you got all the clowns together to start talking about Errol Spence potentially cock blocking Crawford. Look, Errol Spence had been out of sight, out of mind for an eye injury. failed to get the rematch, and then jumped back in the ring and saying, "Oh, all of a sudden I'm ready," you know, I'm ready because they was hearing that Crawford might be up to face Sebastian Fundora. If that didn't happen, it was said that Fundora had to come off the WBO title because Crawford activated his WBO clause and all that, right? So now they went back to being clowns and saying, "Oh man, I love how, they." It was cats on here on the YouTube Central, up here celebrating Spence hopping in the ring and saying, "Oh now it's trying to chop him down, face the big dog and all that shit," right? So I'm saying to myself, I said, "Wow, these guys haven't learned anything. They're still angry, vindictive, and they have this sort of vendetta to continue to hate on Crawford after he slayed their favorite fighter. Still, they're a glutton for punishment, bro. So now it's outside of boxing, y'all. Right? It's out. It's personal again. Oh, I'm glad PBC is this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they caught. They're what they call it, blackballing Crawford. Back to the same shit that we used to talk about leading up to Crawford Spence on the other side of the street. PBC love having in-house fights. It's better for business. Okay. All right. You remember when he jumped in the ring? They saying, yeah, they blocking Crawford. Crawford thought it was going to be easy. Crawford thought it was going to be. This is after Crawford beat him and he was ready for the rematch. Showtime took flight and Errol Spence came out with a patch over his eye, right? But he was able to jump in the ring for Fundora, but not Crawford. All right, cool. Then word has it that there's some rumblings going on or whatever that Errol Spence, who since accepting cameo appearances, may not be able to face Sebastian Fundora. Samson Likowicz went around bad mouthing the shit out of Crawford. So now you have what? The same bullshit coming from over there that Jermell Charlo has now potentially activated his champion and recess clause. So the clowns come back to the motherfucking parking lot and they say, guess what, y'all? Crawford learned a valuable lesson because PVC is fucking with him. Jermell Charlo activated his rematch clause to stop Crawford from coming undisputed. I said, damn, ain't nothing changed. Even though it was historic, I think for the common sense boxing fans, it was catering to those who are weak and frail minded. Like I thought that fight July 29th would have made some of these boxing fans a bit more wiser. And so now we come over here in 24 and we going through, oh, they block it. They blackball him. Yeah, that's what he get. He thought it was over because he did that. And after what he did to Spence, man, he ain't gonna get no fight here. He ain't gonna be able to unify. They was back to the same shit again, yo. They was back to the same shit. And then we find out Crawford is gonna fight Madrimov. Then we find out Crawford is going to fight Madrimov. Now you have a familiar through good and bad, Crawford. A name over here, good and bad. People know him for his good and people know him for his bad, right? Now we have these clowns up here supporting Madrimov, who they never heard of prior to Jermell Charlo dropping his belts. But what they did, they wanted to walk around here repeating shit from other channels. Oh, man. Astronomical amateur pedigree. Something Crawford doesn't have. Madrimov have 767.5.00 amateur fights. They say he had some losses, but we're not sure. It may be 0.8 or even 1.5 by disqualification or something like that. Somebody threw a ball in the ring, it bounced off his head, Madrimov's head, and hit his opponent in the eye. They said the ball will last touch you, Madrimov, so we got to disqualify you. They was bragging about his pedigree, as if Crawford never did anything. Then you would think, right, after all of what we witnessed, they wouldn't be talking about underestimating Crawford's courage, will, and desire, his grit to go in there and fight. But they did. So, along with Madrimov's freaking pedigree, Crawford is now saying to himself, damn, I thought I proved to these fools that I ain't nothing to play with. There's a lot of fighters that they didn't give Crawford credit for. Out on Errol Spence. He said, if you didn't give me credit for, look, if you didn't give me credit for the 40 of them that I beat, I mean, for the 39 others that I beat, you're going to give me credit for this 40th one, which happened to be on pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give me credit for the 39 others I have faced. You're going to give me credit for this 40th one right here. And that's EJ. You're going to give me credit. So he could have ended it early, but it was a packed house and he took it to the 9th round, did his thing. Madrimov, he went in there for the first time, and people cannot ignore the fact that it was a championship fight. He was going in there for Madrimov's championship belt. 12 rounds. The fight goes the distance, and all of a sudden, just because Bud, look, who they say didn't fight anybody at 147, he goes the distance with Madrimov, and now they highlight his accolades on a negative side just because the conclusion was outside of what we used to seeing at the welterweight division. We used to seeing him stopping his opposition. But he goes up 154 out of several opponents from 47, and he finally goes the distance. In a long time, he goes the distance. So they're always talking about challenge, right? Challenge, challenge, challenge. So it was so asinine to hear them say that Bud has never faced anybody at 47. They was attempting to basically reduce his boxing FICO, his appraising value when it comes to the Wall Street of boxing. They was trying to say this man, per his resume up to this point, regardless if it's a Sean Porter or Kell Brook, he ain't faced nobody. And then when he goes in there and thrashes Spence, it was because of weight. And you're talking about Crawford happened to be one of those fighters who absolutely predicted it. Absolutely predicted that they were going to say that Spence stayed in the division too long. And he predicted that he was going to knock him out. So when he goes the distance with Madrimov, they highlight him not being able to stop Madrimov. But check this out. But they have to remember that they was the same people that was saying Madrimov had a superb amateur career. So you was complimenting Madrimov for his accolades as an amateur boxing, transferable over to the professional ranks. And he was a legitimate, credible opponent, right? So when Crawford went the distance with Madrimov, it's almost like they didn't want to give Madrimov his just due credit on the way they was complimenting this guy prior to him and Crawford answering the first bell. It's almost like their criticism once again was redirected to Crawford. And you ask yourself, well, how can that be? Oh man, he looked old. He wasn't the same guy. Why wasn't he the same guy? Well, he was stopping people at 147. Why he didn't stop Madrimov? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because you said there's weight classes for a reason, and Madrimov's amateur pedigree will suffice and do him well. He will wear it really, really good against Crawford, who they always dress up and bow tie with a small stamp. Oh, he's a small fighter. He's a 35er. He's a 40. They always dress him up and bow tied with the small stamp. So moving up to 154, of course, it was just like Jeff Horn. When he moved up to 40, Jeff Horn was the champion, and dude was bigger than Crawford. Crawford stopped him. He goes up there with Madrimov, very agile as a fighter, from another country. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many fights out there where you can say, "Oh man, Crawford's in trouble." But these haters, these aggressors, well, I like to call them insurgents. They was up there highlighting, even in the fights that Nadrimov looked terrible. They were saying, "Oh man, Crawford, he's gonna have so much trouble with this guy. Oh my God, he's gonna have so much trouble with this guy." And it's boxing at the end of the day, right? So they're looking at the fight, and the only thing that they're underlining is what? Crawford being hit during the exchanges. It's boxing though. You're gonna get hit in boxing, right? Crawford getting hit during exchanges, getting hit during exchanges, right? So we clear all this up. He gets the win, but he can't get the amount of love, the amount of organic love, unless it's coming from his hardcore fans, right? It should be more casual boxing fans that link up with Crawford in these matchups. You know what I'm saying? Because he really don't give them any type of reason to say, well, this is why I hate him. This is why I don't like him. Before he was with Top Rank and he was doing all this moving funny shit, right? That has been wiped away. That has been proven to be a non-issue. That was fictitious information. Period. False. Those was fallacies from individuals who selected to run smear campaigns on Crawford's name. Now Canelo Alvarez is in the shoot, y'all. No, don't leave. Hold up for a second. Canelo Alvarez, who has the fan base of individuals who own a dime. When you mention Canelo name, comparable to anybody, let's just go back a little bit, right? When Canelo fought John Ryder coming off that surgery, they was like, "Oh man, we can't wait to see Canelo come off that surgery, and he's going in there facing John Ryder." No complaints, no nothing, because God damn it, we wasn't waiting on no John Ryder to go in there and face Canelo. But very, very minimal criticism. Canelo went in there and distanced John Ryder. Did you hear the fight fans talking about the boxer who started boxing at 15 years of age and he went the distance with a guy? Oh, it was because of his surgery. I know, it was because of his surgery. I got it. Were they talking about the WHY when he stepped in there with Gennady Golovkin in a trilogy? When I tell you all the boxers who have died prior to that fight, their souls was telling Canelo, "Man, what the fuck, dog? You hear me? You hear me knock over that vase, man? What the fuck you doing? You wonder why your horses are restless? It's because I'm kicking their ass shit. What the fuck are you doing? Why you went and got this guy? He's damn near about to be with us, there, Canelo. We're waiting at the gate for him to come in." Canelo fighting Triple G did nothing for the sport of boxing. When I say nothing, I mean, I'm talking about not a breath, not a sneeze, a cough, not an eye blink. But Canelo was able to have people pay for him and Gennady Golovkin 3. That's after Canelo had already had 7 freaking fights already in between part 2 to part 3. Anyway. Then he's moving up for Jermell Charlo, who was just inserted in there. He was feeling it. It was affirmative action, y'all. That's all. That was affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? The other black guy was supposed to fight Canelo. He was going through some duress at the time. He had to take care of some personal issues. So they had to send somebody that looked like him in there. I swear to God, boxing fans couldn't tell the difference. That's Mal Charlo, right? No, man, I told you when we was on the plane ride over here, man, and took the bus and we checked in, I say, Mal Charlo is going through some shit, man. That's male. Okay. Get to the 7th round. Man, Mal Charlo, man, I thought he was a little better than this. Didn't he fight Jose Benavidez and shit? Bro, I told you that's not Mal, bro. That's male. Oh, you did say that. Damn, Mel, the undisputed one? No, that can't be Mel because he ain't did shit. He don't look like he did against Brian Castano and Tony Harrison. That ain't Mel Charlo. That's Mel Charlo, dog. The masses wasn't even like getting on Mel Charlo like that, like they get on Crawford. They wasn't even getting on Canelo Alvarez because they felt like, hey man, he had to step up for the family. He had to be the body that looked like the body that was supposed to be in there that Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Just so happened through the chromosomes and the DNA, he had a nigga that looked like him at birth. You know what I'm saying? So fuck the clone. He just got twin. Hey twin. You got me twin? Yeah, twin. You know I got you twin. Yeah. You know I need about 15% of that, right? Nah, twin, that ain't gonna happen, man. That's why we at each other's throat now. That ain't gonna happen, twin. You know, all right. I mean, look, his brother came out there who's supposed to be in the ring, and you know, they had their little strange encounter. But anyway, nobody was questioning Canelo. And then nobody was questioning Jaime Munguia. Nobody was saying that Jaime Munguia has a chance. A CHANCE chance. Nobody. For those of you that's out here who are supposedly the landlord of your channel, right? They were not complaining about Jaime Munguia facing Canelo Alvarez. I don't think I heard one person saying it was a 50-50 fight. Then we move on to the Puerto Rican. Him and Canelo up there doing all that homoerotica freaking gestures on stage for whatever reason. He goes in there, he gets second, goes home and throw a parade. Streets are filled with goddamn quads, bikes, dirts, all that. For coming in second place out of two fighters. Right? You go to the YouTube Central. Man, that motherfucker is quiet as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you got a barking dog in the house, right? And you come home, you've been gone for several hours. And you come in there and usually the dog barking when you come through the door, but you don't hear shit. And you go find that little motherfucker, he in there on the floor with his legs to the sky. And you're like, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong? You sick? You miss me? The dog just sitting there with his tongue hanging out. And then you look up and find out he had gotten into some of your edibles. The dog just sitting there fucked up. That's how the sound was over here at the YouTube Central. Nobody, when I say nobody was talking about Edgar Berlanga being defeated by Canelo Alvarez. This is 5 freaking fights. You heard? 5 fights from Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing supposedly, the cash cow where everybody wants to yank on his sack every time they say that, right? Like it's a church bell. They sit up here and really didn't say anything to complain about his choice of fighters when it comes to his last several fights. 5 fights, okay? All right. So with that said, there's a little situation went down with Skull, and you say to yourself, well, Crawford has been calling out freaking Jermell Charlo prior to Errol Spence. It didn't happen. He got off those belts and went into seclusion. And then Crawford, the gall and the audacity of Crawford to call out Canelo Alvarez was brilliant, in my opinion, because once again, they always tell you all exposure is good exposure, right? I mean, at this point in time, Crawford being on the back end of his career, he's saying I'm daring to be great. A lot of people take him serious, but just don't want to show that they genuinely take him serious out to the general public. So he calls out Canelo Alvarez, and you have motherfuckers lifting up in their gravesite. Motherfuckers that was haters in a past life has come. What? They got me fucked up. I'm about to show these niggas. I'm about to hop out and show these niggas who I used to be. You got dead motherfucking haters. When they heard Crawford up here raising the dead, y'all want to fight Canelo. How dare he call Canelo? In this era of boxing supposedly enthusiasts, how dare Crawford call out Canelo Alvarez? How dare he? The man calls out another boxer, y'all. And these guys have just witnessed the last 5 opponents, which meant absolutely nothing to Canelo's legacy. I guarantee you, come back 15 or 20 years, nobody, look, when I say nobody, nobody's going to be talking about the trilogy that he had with Gennady Golovkin. Nobody's going to be talking about freaking John Ryder. Nobody's talking about Mel Charlo or Jaime Munguia or Edgar Berlanga. I promise, without pinky swear, nobody's going to be talking about that. Some older then. You're going to be my age. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be having a much more tougher time trying to stay on motherfucking topic. When people going to be, these youngins going to be holding you accountable, their ass going to be a little bit older too. Hey, man, I remember when you was back there, you know, talking shit like, Homie McGill, nah, I ain't never said that shit, nigga. Man, nah, you fucking with me because I'm goddamn, I can't even remember shit now. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker act like he got pugilistica and he was doing the motherfucking boxing. He gonna have some motherfuckers on here, yo. In 15, 20 years, that was up here trying to act like those 5 fights with Canelo was something. But then forget how much they hated on Crawford. Once he called out Canelo, now all of a sudden, breathe. Now all of a sudden, check this out, people. Check this out. Now all of a sudden, when you're talking about the sweet science, understand something, please. You have people that always want to articulate what boxing means to them. Every now and then, you can say it's herd bidding, but sometimes you have the ones that really stand out on their own, and they really, you know, walk with their independence as a boxing enthusiast and not follow in the shadow of others who's up here talking the bullshit. So you get some of these cats and they say the sweet signs. That's that shit right there, the sweet signs. I'm like, what does on an educational standpoint, what does the sweet signs mean to you, big dog? I'm glad you asked that, man, because I've been watching boxing ever since 1930. I'll say 35. Okay. And then they start to break down what the sweet science means, right? And I'm listening. I'm saying, damn, that's some educational shit. They're talking about all the facets of the fundamentals of boxing. And when you mention fundamentals, people tend to think that, yeah, just because you say fundamentals, they attach it with basics. You know what I'm saying? Just basics. No, fundamentals can be all the variables that consist of your technical skill set. Fundamentals. And how you apply that particular punch, strike, a combination set. So you get somebody that tell you about the sweet science of boxing. You notice the YouTube Central, one of the greatest septic tanks of boxing media. I swear to God, they don't mention sweet science no more. You notice that? Like, you get an old head that talk about the sweet science, they're going to talk about why it's the sweet science, right? And then, you know how we highlight some of the older greats and we highlight what they was able to accomplish back then? And we say it so easily because at that point in time, they're trying to prove to whoever the listeners are or whatever the community or group that you are speaking in that time, the panel or whatever, you want people to know that, hey, you're a hardcore boxing enthusiast. In the reality of it, you're a hardcore boxing enthusiast, right? So they go back into the past. You know what I'm saying? They reflect on the past of some of the great names that did this, and this, and some of the names that they was in the ring with that allowed you to reflect on that moment. So you talk about it as if the value is at its highest. You're optimizing the value of speaking about that particular moment. But hold up, goddammit, wait a minute. If indeed the sweet science encompasses a lot of what we look for in fighters today, then why isn't Terrence Bud Crawford recognized for that same type of behavior, that same type of hunger, and same type of desire when he's calling out Canelo Alvarez, who's only 2 divisions higher? Why are you so eager to talk about the weight it takes from 154 to get to 168? But within your point that you're trying to make from 54 to 68, you're excluding the sweet science stamp of approval. Listen, we don't need a power plant to goddamn generate some energy to figure this shit out. We don't need any of them Elon Musk sending us in freaking vehicles over here so we can have backup power. Am I right or wrong, people? When it comes down to Terrence Crawford calling out calling out Canelo Alvarez, why is it that people are so quick to mention the numbers that's in between 54 and 68 instead of recognizing the stamp of approval and the sweet science? And internal to the sweet science, there's a lot of criteria that qualifies Crawford to call out Canelo Alvarez. There's a substantial amount of who he's fought in his career, the achievements that he's been able to accrue throughout his career. Also, him being recognized via awards, pound for pound list. It goes on and on. The chariots of the boxing gods has recognized Crawford in good favor. They have. But goddamn it, does somebody have a real answer as to why he calls out Canelo Alvarez and so-called hardcore boxing enthusiasts, all they're talking about is the weight class? Seriously, all they're talking about is the weight class. Forget the skill set. Forget the experience. They're talking about how many pounds it is between 54 and 68. Am I making this up? You know I ain't making this shit up, bro. You know I ain't making this shit up, man. Somebody help me out, man. I need some help. I need some of those sound mind, those young, seasoned freaking brain that the neurotransmitter electricity is at all-time high, and they're hungry, salivating for knowledge. Can you explain to that? Can you explain that for me, please? I just need a little bit of help. That's all. I just need a little bit of help. Why do they talk about the weight that's in between weight classes? Why is WCS hearing 141414141414141414? When has 14 ever been a topic of discussion? Why do these cats tend to hitchhike? Jump into a vehicle of ignorance and ride off into the sunset. I don't care what you say. I love being ignorant. I was grown and nurtured off ignorant. When I was on my mama nipple, that goddamn shit I was sucking on, it was ignorant. It was sour. God damn, it was sour. Ignorant ass. That's why I never got the proper nutrition growing up. I was ignorant. Why do they hitchhike to ride off when it comes to these boxing streets and jump in a goddamn vehicle of ignorance and act like they can't figure this shit out? Why is 14 so important right now instead of the sweet science? That's all I want to know, people. Why isn't boxing fans willing to identify that when you speak to the real, true, authenticated hardcore fans, they identify sweet science. But when you speak to whatever these motherfuckers are called, all they saying is 1414. Is weight class for a reason. Weight class is for a reason. It's almost like they're spiritually cursed. Yo, they've been hanging out at the Ouija board too often. Somehow, some way, some motherfuckers been slapping the shit out these motherfuckers. For them to be that stupid. 14 pound, man. I don't know any 14 pound. So WCS want to propose. I just want to propose this question. So, if fighters made weight, let's just say the weight limit is 147. They made weight. Okay. Last time we checked, Spence made 147. Crawford 146.5, something like that, right? So we all know, as competent boxing enthusiasts, that come fight night, they're not weighing 147. Right or wrong. They're not weighing 147. So therefore, we don't have to do deductive reasoning. Therefore, we have to acknowledge that we clearly understand, just from human existence and covering the sport of boxing, and having our cognitive process, using the mid part of our brain to archive and recall memory, right? That these fighters have gained weight after the weigh-in. So therefore, let's just assume automatically that it's 15 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds that they rehydrated to. Okay? Right? That's fair enough, right? Let's say 10 pounds, because you gotta spoon feed these niggas. You can't give them too much. You can't get a ladle and hey, bend your head back. Yep, there go. Get all that. Let's do 147 plus 10. What does that give you? 157 pounds, right? Hold up, God damn it. Because this is breaking it down simplicity at its best, right? So therefore, if it 157, right? If you just track 157 from 168, okay, this is some pounds that they, at welterweight, they rehydrated up to. They rehydrated up to 157, okay? So being that they're going to have to come in at 168, let's just say they're off by 11 pounds. This is just on rehydration night, fight night. So they're fighting 11 pounds less than 168. I'm just using Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford at the moment. They came in 10 pounds heavier than 147. Okay? I'm just putting a simplicity out there on a plate. Okay? The plate might be a little dirty for you idiots that's out here not understanding what the sweet science is about. So they come in at 157. That's 11 pounds than 168. Then Canelo and Terrence Crawford has to make the weighable limit of 168. So we're saying 10 or 11 pounds under. Now, you're trying to tell me that if Crawford is competing at 154, a weight limit that he was at once upon a time when he was rehydrating up at 147 after weigh-in, you're trying to tell me Crawford, who's a champion at 154, who at that weight rehydrated up in the 160, my dream off. Why are you so inept to continue to talk about 14 fucking pounds? I'm trying my best to sustain composure, but I'm expecting that boxing fans should understand this shit. Why are you addressing 14 fucking pounds, man? If Errol Spence and Crawford fought in the 150s on fight night, and Bud has since moved up and had an active licensed fight at 154, knowing that he was in the 160s when he fought Madrimov? Why are you acting like there's a problem? He's not that far off from 168. If he was in the 160s, let's just say Crawford came in at 165. Do you actually believe there's going to be a problem with him making weight at 168? Or are you up here just spreading on the gravy because you don't give a fuck about your diabetes? Because some of you niggas snacking on nothing but sweets. You don't have no nutritional value when it comes to talking boxing. None. They're going to say, oh, well, Canelo, I can guarantee you, man, Canelo is going to be super, double the size of Crawford come fight night. They might weigh in below 68, but Canelo's going to come in there 170s easy, and Crawford's not going to be able to compete with that rehydration. Oh, so now you want to compliment Canelo, a person who has stipulated rehydration clause before, huh? Now you're going to hear people highlighting Canelo gaining all this weight upon the rehydration just to make a point about Crawford being a smaller fighter in the ring. We don't need that point. We already know he's going to be the smaller fighter. Possibly. But all I wanted to do is just break down simple, basic comprehension that was in the 150s easily on fight night, July 29th, 2023, the T-Mobile Massacre. Yes. Crawford fought at 154. Guaranteed he was at the 160s. It might have been the low 160s. It might have been the mid 160s, but he was in the 160s on fight night. So to hear these individuals continue to talk about 14 pounds without the sweet signs is crazy, yo. It's simply crazy. And shout out to Haynes Legacy, bro. I see you. Thanks for the $10 in the super chat, my brother. One love, much appreciated. You already know what it is, man. Always prayers and blessings for you to stay healthy. Thanks for always supporting the channel, man. Much, much appreciated. Saying to myself, how is that logical? How is that logical, man? How can we have a fight of this magnitude and all I'm hearing is 14 pounds? How can we not? Let's even dive into a different chapter in the index, right? We talk about the sweet signs, but if the chapter is titled The Sweet Signs, of course we have to talk about internally to the title of chapter 2 being the sweet signs. We have to dive into it, right? It's going to be different passages speaking about the sweet signs. So we already know what the weight is, but now we have to talk about the physical attributes of the fighter. But before that, we have to talk about the boxing IQ of the fighter that's heading in there with those physical attributes. And also we have to talk about attaching the boxing IQ to the physical attributes, and then we talk about the experience for which that fighter has had to assert those boxing IQ and those physical attributes. The experience that he's had fighting in the boxing ring against certain opponents. All that together says what? That fighter is going to improve and continue to improve. He's going to get better as time go along. His boxing IQ is changing, advancing, right? His physical attributes. Crawford, he pretty much lives the fighter's lifestyle. Canelo, same thing. Both of these fighters, in a combination of just simplicity when it comes to the boxing sweet signs, both of them shows you that. Both of them shows you they have these areas where you can highlight, and you can say, you know what, they're really good in this, and this. You can highlight that. That deals with the sweet signs, not 14 pounds. That deals with boxing IQ, not 14 pounds. That's what that involves. Why do we have so many people up here acting like only thing they want to do is not see a fight? You're not a boxing fan, bro. I don't care how much or how many fights you can talk about from the past. If you're unwilling to say that the Sweet Signs has a lot to do with this mega fight, but yet you want to focus all your attention, negative that is, to 14 freaking pounds, and the only chorus and the hook that you can sing every time a debate come up is 14 pounds, not the Sweet Signs. I thought the Sweet Signs trumped everything else. Right? I mean, if you're talking about anything that deals with boxing ethics, there has to be a little bit of ethical reasoning in this sport to identify that stamp right there is the Sweet Signs. It has to be, yo. You have to pull that from somewhere. They say the boxing Bible. Anybody have a boxing Bible that was written? You have to have some type of ethics in the sport of boxing to identify the Sweet Signs and what it encompasses. We have to. And look, we don't even have to move towards the conversation cautiously. That's something we should be able to talk about like it's a sin, and done in sins. It should come natural because we used to talk about it all the time. But for the shit that I'm hearing on here, yo, they persistent too with the negativity. They say Crawford is weight classes for a reason. Not that the motherfucker can straight up fight, box, footwork, power, that type shit. 31 knockouts, is it? Out of 41 victories? But they want to continue to graze a field of straight up manure and keep on saying 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. I like the way that sounds, 14. Why you talking about 14? Man, I don't think you heard, man. You lucky. But Crawford, man, his weight class is for a reason. He at 54, Canelo at 68, 14 pounds, 14 pounds. I can't tell you anymore, man. 14 pounds, bro. Man, I'm telling you, you better go get that patch, 14. They got some patches being made, man. 14, get those patches, yo. Get your patch today. It's weight classes for a reason. I mean, you don't even want to talk about this shit in a civil way because, like, if you talk about boxing enough, you expect certain things from your listener, especially if your listener is just as educated as yourself. I expect someone that's educated in the sport to provide me with educational responses, educational replies, right? So when they say some dumb shit, I have to say, no, man, stop playing, man. You know good and well, man. 14. Man, come on. You playing right? Yeah, I'm playing. All right, that's what I thought. But to a fool, if they say, I say, all right, I got you. All right, man, real talk. All right, cool, for sure. All right, no, man, you need to understand, man. It's weight class for. I can't understand that because it's been guys in the past that have fought bigger guys and won. Real talk. It's been guys in the past, not just in boxing, who has fought bigger fighters in the past and won. But it seems like those individuals just don't want to jump outside their bubble of misery and say, I'm open-minded to hear what you have to say. I'm open-minded to hear what you got to say. I'm open. Listen. We're talking about 14 pounds, just like AI said they was talking about practice. We talking about 14 pounds, not the fight itself, not the sweet science. We talking about 14 motherfucking pounds, not the motherfucking sweet science. You know what I'm saying? We talking about 14 motherfucking pounds, not the sweet science. If you all follow the MMA, right? Back in 2015, Benson Henderson fought a guy named Brandon Thatch. I believe that's his name. Brandon Thatch came in that motherfucker huge than Benson Henderson. Woo, huge, yo. I mean, go on YouTube and look at that fight whenever you get a chance. Go look at that fight whenever you get a chance. Benson Henderson came in there and fought Brandon, I think his name was Brandon Thatch, I believe. If I'm not so mistaken. Brandon, Brando, back in 2015. And he ended up subbing him out in round 4. Now you understand there's 5 minutes per round. This was a 5-minute fight. I mean a 5-round fight, 5 minutes per round. And he subbed him out in round 4. It's like, I know that's mixed martial arts, but these guys are acting like it's impossible for Crawford to move up and face Canelo. And the fight is at its peak when it comes to the competitiveness. It's at its peak at the potential of Terrence Crawford beating Canelo. It's at its peak. It's at its peak. It's just WCS has to remind them that just because they want to sit up here and ruffle feathers, they want to talk ill about a certain fighter, no matter who Crawford fights, these same individuals will hate on Crawford and support his opponent. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, my friends, is called being a YouTube central prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. You're willing to jump from fighter to fighter to stroke their ego, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you a hoe. Y'all know who you are. Y'all know who you are. For those of you that whoever Crawford fights, you're rooting for his opponent, you might as well goddamn just come out and let people know, hey, you a trick. Because you're not supporting the sport. No. You supporting controversy. And you try to take the controversy and attach it to the sport as if you know what the fuck you're talking about. 14 pounds, what does it have to do with the sweet science? A lot. Because within that 14 pound, fighter is technically advanced on a whole nother level and inclined to be a student, no matter what experience, what level of experience, how many years they've been in the game, who they done fought. If they're continuing to learn as a fucking student, they're going to continue to progress, especially if their physical attributes is still at its peak. They're healthy. Their physical bone structure, their skeletal structure is still healthy. No nagging injuries or anything like that. They're going to continue to thrive in the moment. And then not to mention, most of all, that we know both Canelo and Crawford has. Both Canelo and Crawford has that dog. Canelo and Crawford has that dog in them. They have those dogs. I don't know what type of dog, but I know Crawford, he might have that dog, Tibetan Mastiff. You know, one of them dogs to be out there hunting wolves. Them dogs to be hunting wolves. Both of these guys have heart and they have tenaciousness. They have dog. So I really don't know when it comes down to the 14 pounds, why this even a conversation. You have to question yourself. You have to say, why am I making myself look a certain, like, why am I placing myself? Ask yourself that, those of you that's guilty of this. Why are you registering yourself to be in the special ed class of boxing? You don't have to be there. But you cats want to be in the special ed. You want to act like you stupid and dumb as fuck when it comes to this sport. You want to talk about the 14 pounds like nothing else matters. A lot of you niggas get chill bumps and your nipples get hard and shit. You start just thinking about other shit other than boxing when you around in the community of niggas that's talking the same bullshit. I mean, it seems like y'all get off on that stuff, man. Y'all just get off on it. Y'all love the warm feeling that comes over you. Oh man, fuck that nigga, man. If I saw him, I'll slap him. I'll fuck him up. Who are you talking about? You talking about when you see Crawford? Yeah, man, the shit he be doing, moving funny. So you still talking about that shit way years ago? Nah, man, he should have just came over to PBC when he was supposed to. You can't make this shit up. Man, this nigga still out here talking about what he should have did and when he should have did it. But when it actually happened, it was something else with these dudes, bro. 14 pounds. Plus the sweet signs. The sweet signs is a whole nother, problem-solving method. Like within the sweet signs, you're going to have fighters who are considered orthodox or unorthodox. Fighters who look and pass the eye test of the sweet signs, and some fighters who fight somewhat like unorthodox Ricardo Mayorga, who's just wild. George Foreman. You had these fighters who was wild. George Foreman used to slug. He used to throw them axe hammer, punches. That wasn't fundamentally sound like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I know we sit up here and highlight Muhammad Ali's style, but he got hit a lot. He did. He got hit a lot. He had fast hands, but hanging out on the ropes and getting punched, you only have one cranial display, right? You have one brain internal to that cranial set, right? So you're still taking damage at the end of the day. But there's people out here that'll highlight Muhammad Ali who did get hit a lot. He didn't have the best defense. He was dropped early in his career. No one talks about that. But imagine if Crawford would have got dropped early in his career. What if Crawford would have lost his first fight like B-Hop and Robisa Ramirez? What if that? WCS don't do too many what ifs. But what if he would have lost his first fight? What if he was knocked out early in his career in his 12th professional fight like Manny Pacquiao? Think about that now. Think about that. Because they're continuously bringing up Yokis Gamboa on how he hurt Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But tirelessly, the brain is amazing. It's powerful. They refuse to acknowledge the results of that fight. He won the fight. As much as you speak about it, you can't change the results. It's been recorded for quite some time. Imagine if Crawford would have hit the canvas like they say he hit the canvas against Mean Machine. What if Gamboa would have been the proprietor of that? They would have still been talking about it to this day, even though Crawford is 41-0. Can you believe that shit? Can you believe that shit? Turki Al-Sheikh is telling, hey, Canelo, it's time to face your fears, buddy. Hey, y'all. Turki Al-Sheikh is telling Canelo, it's time to face your fears. Hey, Turki Al-Sheikh, pull Canelo's card. He pulled it. He said, you throw money around here like we don't have it. my friend. I just don't deal with boxing, my friend. Other areas of world entertainment, whether it's music or combat sports or whatever. We're just not spending millions on boxing. You know what I'm saying? So Turki gave Canelo Alvarez the hallmark. He gave him the RSVP. He had his people reach out to Canelo's people and say, hey, I'm pretty sure you heard of the Ring Awards. I just want to be perfectly honest with you. I'm sending you an invite, okay? I definitely want you to attend, but you're not getting an award this year. All right. And this is where the good part comes in there, Mr. Alvarez. I really like you as a fighter. I want to do business. And you only know it's just one fighter that I want you to do business with, and that's Terrence Bud Crawford. I want you to come over here and talk to me. I'm pretty sure I look. I assure you that it's going to be productive talk. I have no time to bullshit. You have to be open minded like I'm open minded. I want you to come over here. But what I'm trying to do is that I want you to be able to try to put yourself in the running to get an award next year. Okay? I'm going to want to try to get you and Terrence Crawford signed up. And Canelo up here to me, no, Mars. I want Mayweather. What about Mayweather? We can do huge at the gate. I want Mayweather. No. I'm not doing my business with Mayweather. No, I'm not doing it. You know, you look, Canelo. You ask 150 million. Canelo's gonna. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's gonna ask 415. I mean, no. It's not gonna happen. I'm not spending damn near $1 billion on you to fight Mayweather. Oh no, he's just old enough. He's frail. He's a nice little cherry. I just want to cherry pick one more time there, Turkey. I just want that cherry. Man, my bucket is empty now. I know. That's why I have my people call you Canelo. No more cherry picks. This is real. No more cherry picks, Canelo. You got to face that killer, that Omaha monster that's in the doorway. It's time to face your fears. Oh, somebody tell him he better get ready to face his fears. It's time to face your fears, Canelo. Son, do you understand that, Canelo? It's time to face those fears. No more running. No more ducking behind high-ass ticket prices. You're dealing with somebody who has the money, has the monetary funds. He is the role player, the shaker and mover. He is the damn authoritarian. You can't fake it no more. He want to see the biggest fights. Yo, am I right or wrong, people? Turkey Sheik want to see the biggest fights. People are up here feeling some type of way because they feel like we're not going to be able to see some of the grandest moments and all this shit. Yeah, with our eyeballs. We're going to be able to see it. Well, you know, all the champions are going to be European fighters, and they're going to be, you know, discriminating against the black and Mexican. Man, get the fuck out of here, yo. Hey, we done seen robberies all the time over here in the U.S., bro. Let me get to the chat, man. I can't imagine what's in the chat, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I want Mayweather, says Canelo. You know what I'm saying? I need to see who in the chat because I know I got some strays over this motherfucker. I got some strays over here. I know for sure I got some strays over this month. Because they have somewhat came to the surface. The dead has, and they out in full force, y'all. El Chin Checker Tank, better leave that boy alone. No, let Tank do what he do, man. That fight ain't happening. I know at one point in time, Tank said he'll knock him out. That ain't happening. Even though, right? It's certain people that would want to see Tank versus Bud. No. No. Adam on deck. What's good? Stickum Boys Fishing and Sport. OG Bruce Gas on deck, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I can't get to everybody, man. Expect brothers to go missing again. Come summertime after that fight, they'll be hibernating early at Haterville. Hey, talk to them, man. Hey, man, break open that manual, man. Teach. Hey, Collins. Teach one. You know what I'm saying? Teach one. Each one teach one, man. Teach them, bro. They're going to go back into hibernation, man, and snuggle up in the bunkers, man. When you use words like murk. Hey, I understand 1300. Appreciate you pulling up, man. But when you use words like murk, do you truly mean it? When you're saying in reference to Canelo, you don't mean it because he didn't murk any of the last 5 opponents. Stop, man. Just chill. Chill, bro. MKB in the building. What's good? What's good, bro? I see you. Salute to you. Modern King on deck. Yeah. I end up reading it off, man. One love. Appreciate you, big dog. Thanks for your support as always. The Queen, Jessica, of Boxing on Deck. What's good? What's good? I see you. Nello beats Bud. He was too little. Bud beats Nello. Bud was on pads like they claim was against Spence. It's a lose-lose. I don't look at the lose-lose dynamic that they try to always put out there. I don't look at it like that. No, I don't ever look at lose-lose. My mentality is not like that. Lose-lose. No. Lose-lose to me is you're basically putting restrictions on how you supposed to approach a situation like this. Especially when you're trying to basically say, okay, how do I go out here and say, okay, of all the options that I have, how do I bulletize them from the positive standpoints, the pros, to the cons? How do I prioritize that situation? There's no way you can say you're prioritizing a situation, just all of them cons. All of them are minuses. You got to go in there with some pluses. You know what I'm saying? You got to do process of, you got to do resolution process. You just got to think, be open-minded, man. Brainstorm, think. I don't believe in lose-lose. What's going on, TBA Boxing Talk? The Gold in the building. What's good with it, man? Yes, the toughest test yet. The toughest test yet. Yes, sir. Even though I put challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't put test for a reason. I put challenge. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. It's going to be his toughest challenge yet. You know what I'm saying? No way out. Turki calls Canelo's bluff, set to face the toughest challenge yet. You know what I'm saying? Canelo has the toughest challenge of his career. And look, you're going to have those individuals out here that say, well, it could end up, like I mentioned earlier, they're trying to imply that it's going to be somewhat similar to how Crawford did. You can't do that. I was responding to someone the other day where you continuously have people to talk about how he looked against Madrimov. So if I propose the question to anybody and say, hey, do you think Madrimov can beat Canelo Alvarez? They would tell you no, right? They would tell you no. Okay. So when it comes to Crawford, do you think Crawford can beat Madrimov? Well, duh, he already went in there and beat him. Okay. So you don't think Madrimov can beat Canelo, but you've seen Crawford beat Madrimov, right? So when it comes to us talking about Crawford versus Canelo, why are people comparing the 14 pounds as a way to prove their point at 168? Why are they looking at 14 pounds outside of the sweet science of the skill set and the boxing IQ and the experience and the championships and the belts and the opponents and the awards and the pound for pound tenure that he's had? The high tier achievements, the first male boxer ever to become 2-time undisputed in 2 different weight classes. First ever. Shout out to Blue Hustle on deck. What's good with the Blue Hustle? How you feeling, man? Shells on deck. Bud just flat out know how to fight, plain and simple. He's the best of all time, period. Hey, man, keep your finger on that. Keep your finger on that flamethrower, bro. Keep it all the way to the rear, man. No slow, steady squeeze on this. Just let it rip. Goddamn blaze the area. Let them know what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Canelo is going to have to really get with Eddie Reynoso because they in there with the mad scientist Brian Bomack and goddamn that killer, that Omaha killer. T-Mobile Massacre's own, coming to a theater for part 2 in September, goddammit. They know. They know. Just like Shirley Lowe. You know, I know. They say, how you laugh? Ha, ha, ha. They know. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They know what's they know what's on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. Who has Canelo fought? That's Terrence Crawford. Who? ILTBA. Who has Canelo fought? That's Terrence Crawford. Don't ask me who is Crawford. That ain't it. You are asking me. Toughest challenge. I put it's gonna be Canelo's toughest challenge. And the Bednards is out here and they're kind of proving what I'm talking about. If it's such an easy fight, and there's a lot of people talking about 14 pounds, then why isn't Canelo a minus 38,000 and Crawford is freaking a plus 50? Why? If Canelo is that guy and it's gonna be easy, why are the Bednards so close like that? I don't get it. The numbers ain't adding up the way they should be. Who say Crawford has a chance? You know where they come from. The idolatry of boxing, man, the pantheon. They speaking. This fight right here is spiritual for boxing. Yeah. You got Turki Al-Sheikh on deck. This fight is spiritual. Everything is aligning for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Through all the hatred that Crawford was receiving for not doing something over here. He was always criticized for, he's not doing this, not doing that. Business. He ain't putting butts in the seat. Spiritually, he did everything he was supposed to be. And I feel like he's being blessed to get this type of support system from Turki Al-Sheikh, who has the funding. He has the influence. You know what I'm saying? He has the resources to assist Crawford in making this fight happen. And guess what? Guess what, man? Supposedly, it's being reported that September is supposedly Crawford had that opportunity to go for a 5th division, 3-time undisputed. My, oh my. Whoo, just thinking about that. Whoo. Crawford go in there, not only shut down the aerosexual fan base, but goes in there and destroy Canelo's fan base too. I mean, this guy would be enshrined in immortality. When you see Crawford again, he's going to be glowing. Like, show enough. That's going to be Crawford. Crawford going to start glowing at the end of the day when he defeat Canelo. It's going to change boxing forever, man. I'm telling you, when Crawford comes, when Crawford beats Canelo, well, he got a 3-fight deal now. It might be a rematch in that motherfucker. But they're going to put him on the motherfucking carpet. Crawford's going to come in there on the flying carpet. For real. Y'all keep talking about it's not going to be this, that, and the other. Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be a great fight. See, the good thing about this whole process is that we finding out January, and we have 8 months to talk about this shit. And about 8.5 months to talk about it. Supposedly it might be at the end, the latter half of September. So we have 8.5 months to talk about this. We have 8.5 months for WCS to speak on Crawford. And when I come over here and speak about this shit, it's not even the same shit, bro. I'm going off the top of the dome with this. I'm not even going off notes or anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going off what I understand and have confidence within myself to speak on. If I feel that Crawford can go in there and beat Canelo, I'm not saying it just for fun. I'm not doing this shit for super chats. I'm not doing it for freaking views and likes. I'm telling you what I feel. You know, this is one of those spiritual fights, man. This fight right here is gonna absolutely shake up. The shock is gonna be just like an eruption. You know what I'm saying? Like a volcano eruption, bro. It's gonna send shimmers across boxing. For real. A lot of y'all are gonna become victims once again from this earthquake. For real. You're gonna be up there, you know, with your hand trying to reach through that little light, that light right there. No, you're gonna hope somebody see your pinky. It ain't gonna happen. Crawford gonna be walking there. Oh man, this is just devastation. He gonna hear your grunts and moans. He gonna pick up that piece of freaking debris, and he gonna see you, help, Crawford. And if you was one of them haters, he's gonna gently put that motherfucking debris right back down where he found it. There's nothing over here. Let me keep on searching. There's nothing over here. I'm gonna keep on moving. Man, what a disaster. Whoa. Unbelievable. Man, Crawford, I did not think they would go burn down their own city. Crawford gonna have them cats looting. Look, I'd rather you come, you know, with something else though. Like, it's just certain basics, you know, it's just basic insults. It's just not enough. Like, say something dealing with boxing, not destroy Canelo gonna destroy. He didn't destroy his last 5 opponents, man. Come on, man. We don't need a number 2 pencil to try to figure out this equation. Stop it, bro. Y'all up there, man, you can count on your motherfucking one hand. Let me see, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. Decision, 5 fights. Damn. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ichi ni san chi go roku. 5. I mean, come on. That's not enough fights. That's not enough fights, man. He went to decision. How's he gonna destroy? Oh, y'all still thinking about the 14 pounds. I get it. Yeah, they had to kiss the ring, bro. They had to kiss the ring. That's exactly why I made that post. Canelo had to kiss the ring. He know he wasn't gonna get that type of money with nobody else. He had to kiss the ring, y'all. And boy, the ring he kissed. He had to kiss that ring. Boy, he kissed the shit out that ring. Fight is being made. This is why I put that up there, man. You can't play around with boxing because it will remind you you're not the one at the top. You're not the Grand Poobah. You're not the Presidente. That's all I'm saying. You're not it. Well, we all know that Spence is not the best fight on Crawford's resume. We do know that for a fact. We do know that for a fact. To the hardcore fans that Spence is not the best opponent on Crawford's resume. Stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. We know that's not the case, man. Real talk. We know that's not the case. We know who the best opponent that they don't want to show no love to on Crawford's resume. You know, the best person on Crawford's resume is Crawford. But if you're talking about his opposition, it's not Errol Spence. It's not Errol Spence. Errol Spence just happened to be in a division where he was supposed to be the king, unified king, but he didn't live up to the hype. We all know who's the best opponent on Crawford's resume, and that would be Ricky Burns. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'd be Ricky Burns, in my opinion. 54 bouts. Come on, man. Multiple world champions, but they'll sit up here and say, hey, man, no, we're not talking about Ricky Burns right now. We're talking about Terrence Bud Crawford, goddammit. We're talking about Terrence Bud Crawford going in here and getting this win over freaking Canelo Alvarez. And the fact that Canelo has nowhere to run no more. He want to be greedy and get the money, and guess who's at the door? Guess who's at the door? Canelo up there asking Turk, hey, any way you can pay that for Mayweather? No, my friend. You know, Mayweather won $800 million. I'm not going to do that. Real talk. I mean, for the ones who just don't want to be enthusiasts of boxing, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look around, we up here complaining about boxing. This is something. So you have individuals that just want to talk down on anything that's of relevance, especially if it's of relevance and is not their favorite fighter. Of course this fight makes sense. Of course. Of course I expect the hate. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Of course. The people who said Canelo was avoiding Crawford are going to be same who say Canelo cherry picked. I don't know what you're talking about. How can you cherry pick 154? How? Hey, who in Canelo's last 10 fights has achieved what Terrence Bud Crawford has achieved? I mean, I do have time. Who? Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it. You know what I'm about? Hey, don't let me do it. What's good, Ben? Shout out Arnold Brown. Now, Io don't hate Crawford. Real talk. He don't hate him. It may be to the point where he just don't understand why he's so goddamn dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Why will always be one of those letters in the alphabet that hunts Texas. You know what I'm saying? That letter Y, goddamn it. We ain't talking about vowels. A-E-I-O-U, sometime Y. Why? He had to do that to that boy over there in Texas. That's all. It's that letter Y. That's just, oh my God, it's airborne over there. It's so many people that's still damaged. They haven't healed over there in Texas from that July 29th. That unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? People, I have heard people speak well, highlight, praise, and give Crawford his just due. I have over there in Texas. I have. You can't get everybody. Everybody can't. Ben come over here talking about 14. You know, I expect that. You know, I expect the ones that want to come over here and go against the grain on purpose. I get it. But you know, when it comes to the sweet science, 14 just falls within. I mean, I'm talking about the sweet science is like a motherfucking dark matter in space. You know what I'm saying? Sweet science encompasses so freaking much, man, when it comes to boxing. 14 is just one of it. It's just blended all up in there. You know, people want to talk about weight classes without including the full aspect of sweet science. It doesn't make any sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense. You got to be a whole lot more open minded. You do. You have to be flexible with your sense of thinking. You saw I ain't talk about that. You know, like when you talk about physical anatomies and Floyd moving down. Yeah, I mean Roy moving down. You know, Roy talked about it. That's Roy Jones though. But that has nothing to do with Crawford moving up. I can see if Crawford was trying to go back to 135. Now we talking about something totally different. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got to keep this on Terrence Bud Crawford, that killer that's in the doorway. You know what I'm saying? That killer that's in the doorway. When your boss, yes, boss, when Canelo's boss, when Canelo's boss break the news, Crawford's next up. You know that, right? Hey, you know that. You know fucked up, right? You know this fight coming up this year, right? No. Hold up. No. No. I say I know no fight. No. When I talked to you last time, I said 100 million, and I heard you tell someone 150. Isn't that what you? No. See, I have it on video. You said 150, and you had a smirk on your face. Yeah. I see. See. Now you done fucked up. You know you fucked up, right? I have you on video saying 150. So we here now. We're here now. We're gonna talk about this money because I want to be the one that put on this fight. Turkey Al-Sheikh. Yes. He's being a narcissist. Of course. Of course, man. When you got the money and boxing is a business, of course he's being a narcissist, bro. But why should y'all matter? If y'all couldn't gather up all the money to make this fight and provide Canelo with his guaranteed money, why are you mad? You shouldn't be mad. Everybody that's listening and in this chat should be happy that this is one of the grandest fights that you're living in well, that you'll be able to witness. Come on, man. You get to witness Crawford shaking up the earth. This is gonna break up some old boxing crust. You know what I'm saying? That old residue, that stale residue that, you know, all these cats that piss on freaking certain boxers. This is gonna break all that shit up. It's gonna be like you sprayed Clorox all over boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a thorough bitch. Crawford about to get the crown. Look. I just can't wait till the next Ring Awards. I just can't wait that they put that video up there. And Fighter of the Year goes to out of Omaha, Nebraska, Terrence Bud Crawford. Hey, I just can't wait. And Fight of the Year goes to Terrence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Yes, I just can't wait. I just can't wait to do it. You know, this time Crawford wasn't in the black and white, but next year, when they put the awards in next January, yeah, we should see him in the black and white, black tie affair, and going up there accepting these awards. And then, you know, for them to hand Crawford his crown full of emeralds and diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, boy, this about to shake some shit up, boy. Y'all have pretty much pissed him off long time ago. And now he's about to go in there and do Canelo super dirty. He's about to do Canelo super dirty. For real. He about to do him super dirty. Because you have so many doubters out here. You know what I'm saying? So many people that's supposed to be overall educated about the sport that refuse to show Crawford his just due respect. God damn it. Sometimes you have to what? Jump out and show a Mexican in the ring. You for real. When that press conference gonna happen, God damn it. He may have been, I'm not going to disagree, but the fact he was champ enough, love boxing, to just hold that belt for one fight is the height of boxing. Man, talk your shit, man. EDU, Haynes, educate them niggas, man. Shit. Judge, what? What? I gotta check the goddamn sky. All of a sudden it was sunny. It's done got cloudy at that bitch, man. Whoo! Thunder was about to come down in a sunny day out when I read that. I had to damn read that off in memory. If I would have said that out loud, it would have been a goddamn rain, a goddamn thunderstorm out that bitch, man. Oh, Canelo. His boss is right there, that IO. His boss is right there behind him with his hands out like, huh? You listen to all these people. You listen to all these people, man. You listen to me now. I'm your boss. I can't get you Mayweather. He's too old. People want to see the guy in the doorway. And no mas, Turkey, no mas. I didn't ask for him. I'm being honest, Turkey. I didn't ask for that guy. That guy's been stalking me, and it's borderline. I'm about to get a restraining order on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get a restraining order on him. He's just stalking me. I mean, come on, Turkey. Help me out. Get Mayweather. Man, just go in there and pay out another $300 million, man. Come on. I want to fight old Mayweather, man. Come on. I know he's interested. I remember you saying the same about Spence, bro. When are people going to put respect on Bud's name? Hey, one thing about it, we don't really look for the fans or those individuals that's not really fans of Terrence Bud Crawford to put respect on his name. I just know that deep down inside, God didn't bless us with the ability to read minds like that. I'm talking about across the board. Humanistically, a trait, right? We're not able to do that. But sometimes when they show you, like either through their body language, verbalytics, typing, you know, you can say to yourself, okay, I know that right there. They're not a true Crawford fan. They're not true. They're not genuinely for the sport. They're genuinely for the other fighter, purposely to place shadows on the fighter that's their target. Bud has been the target of a lot of people that hate on him, and that's okay, because only the strong survive. God damn it. No, Crawford didn't get an award this year. No. But, look, even though he wasn't presented with an award, okay, he got the grandest award of them all. Y'all know what that award is. Don't let me remind you when it's gonna go down. Nah. It's going down. You better remember September. Let them know when it's going down. You know when you know what it is. It's going down at the end of the year. Be present. Don't disappear. We want you in attendance, because this is going to be relentless. Terrence Bud Crawford is going to represent Omaha, Nebraska once again. He's going to represent the sweet science of boxing once again. He's going to remind people, look, Terrence might come in there with the number 14 on his motherfucking trunks just to prove a point. I heard y'all out there talking that bullshit. He might come in there just like Terrence get petty at the end of the day. He came in there with nets, fish nets on his shorts and shit. He get petty, dog. Did he really need to do a parade with 2 boats? Did he need to? know what I'm saying? Did he need nets on his shoes, trunks, and his top? Come on, bro. MKB said we got Bud ninjas. Bud don't lose. For real. Hot grease all day, man. Come on, man. This is going to be historical. This is going to be historical. Some people believe and mention that if Canelo lose, it's going to be a lose-lose. Once again, I don't support that. That's not my way of thinking. But they have to also understand that Canelo already has 2 losses. Regardless of who those losses and when those losses happen, he has 2 losses on his resume. Also, Canelo, you know, if he goes up here and beat William Skull, right, he's going to be 2-time undisputed, which, once again, if you was listening, this is the same thing I told Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence Jr. to do when they was both unified champions. Now Canelo's about to take the shortcut and beat William Skull and become 2-time undisputed at 168 pounds. I pretty much said that Errol Spence, before he fought Bud, he should have moved up and fought Jermell Charlo for his belts, win those titles. Then in the rematch, Jermell Charlo win them back. Both of those careers will have looked a lot better than it does now for Errol Spence. He would have been 2-division unified, and then Mel Charlo would have been 2-time undisputed at 154 pounds. But blacks don't want to do business. They don't want to do business with each other. Not just Spence. It's like y'all want him to fail so bad. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? No weapon formed against freaking Bud shall prosper. Shout out to MKB with the $2 super chat on deck, my brother. One love. Appreciate you, big dog. Don't Crawford have more accolades than Canelo? Man, see, now you digging with a 2-sided shovel. You know what I'm saying? Now you getting into desecration of the gravesite, because you're going to dig up some goddamn skeletons that was meant to be left alone. Okay? Don't start talking about shit that's that deeply rooted, though. Come on, man. Don't do that, MKB. Chill. Let's milk this all the way to September now. We don't ever want to start talking about Terrence Crawford has more accolades than Canelo, even though he was the first to become 2-division undisputed. We don't want to talk about accolades. Because, you know, the first person they're going to bring up there, MKB, is Gennady Golovkin. That's all. They're going to bring up Gennady Golovkin. He had 2 fights with a guy who was absolutely paranoid to leave 160. He wanted to be the best 160-pounder ever. And then the only time when he's down there 70, I think he was like 76 and a half years old, Canelo wants to bring him off the porch for a trilogy. In his first fight at 168. Did you hear these cats up here complaining? Oh, man, why Canelo bringing Triple G off the porch? And he fighting at 168 for the first. That shit, MKB. You didn't hear them talking about Triple G, old ass coming up there, damn near with a walking prosthetic. This nigga damn near tripping on his shoestrings because he can't bend over and tie him up no more. Damn. They coming up. They coming up for air, bro. Haynes' vibe is we don't think Crawford can beat Canelo. What's wrong with that? I'm just curious to who is we? Who is we? That's all. I don't know who we is. What is the number? Where's some documentation that we support the petition? Where's the consensus? Where are the signatures? I need documentation as to we. Does we consist of, I know it consists of more than one person, but does it consist of more than 10? Less than 20? Who is we? Who are they? We need to assess them, see, you know, who they are. That's all. That's all. We're not trying to start anything. Who is the we, though? You know what I'm saying? Who is the we? Who are they? Do they have report cards? Do they have a history out here talking the sport of boxing? Are they newcomers? Are they neophytes? Who are the we? That's all. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just need to know who the we, though. Hey, one thing about it, Hayes, man, IO has always been, you know what I'm saying, one of the front runners in this shit. Whether it's likable or unlikable, based off his opinions, once upon a time, they was waiting on him to go live. I'm just saying. They was waiting on him to go live. They was waiting for him to go live. Plenty of other people have Facebook, but they was waiting on him to go live. Seriously, real talk. I appreciate it, man. You know, creativity is always, you know what I'm saying, good to exploit that every now and then. That's why I want the boxing fans to exploit you know, this upcoming fight. You know, stop just thinking that the sweet science doesn't encompasses, overcoming the challenge of 14 pounds. And we can't sit up here and pretend like 14 pounds is the weight that Crawford, when he fought at 154, he was 14 pounds on that. No. That's not even it. You trying to say Crawford, he came in at 154 when he stepped through the ropes? No, it's not the case, buddy. If Spence would have won the fight against Bud, he would have fought Canelo, and the Spence fans were okay with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. EDU. Talk to him. Absolutely. Man, as much as I don't try to remediate or repeat the same information, I said this once before how, man, they was jumping up and down about Spence, talking about fighting Canelo at 168. Who, as much as I sit up here and gloat, and when I tell you gloat with infinity T's on it, when I sit up here and gloat about July 29th, Canelo Alvarez, if he would have got Spence before Crawford, I don't think he would have did him as dirty as Crawford did him. I'm going to be honest with you, Blue. I don't think Canelo would have treated Errol Spence like he did all them other fighters, like they was his son. He would have son EJ. He was, come on, Eddie. I don't want to hurt the guy. He has a family. La Familia first. See, Crawford didn't give a fuck about none of that shit, man. But Canelo, if Canelo would have got a hold of Spence, I don't think he would have tried to terminate him like that. Crawford was out there trying to decapitate Spence. He was trying to turn Spence into a goddamn Texas bobblehead, yo. For real. When he closed out the 9th round, Crawford was sitting all the way down, like he was looking at the dens of thieves. Man, Crawford was sitting down on them punches, shifting gears. For real. Like he got 1,500 to the wheel. Man, he was goddamn shifting gears on goddamn EJ. He even had Harvey Dock saying, no mas. It's over. I'm glad Canelo wasn't the one who got EJ before Crawford, because Crawford has it on his record as the first one to give Spence that loss. And since then, rumors has it that a cloud is still lingering with a milk carton dangling from it as to where and when Errol Spence is going to return back to the square. You know what I'm saying? That milk carton has been up there for quite some time. A missing persons report has been filed continuously, but still, why isn't anyone able to find out information on when Errol Spence is going to return back to the square? I mean, with all this 14 pounds, I mean, why hasn't EJ returned in 14 months? If 14 is the number, mijo, if 14 is the number, 14 months, why hasn't EJ returned, though? That's what I want to know. Shout out to you, CJ. What's good? What's good? Warlock Boxing, what's good? I mean, why? 14 months, man. He haven't returned back to the sport. Why? Why, man? It was only that guy Crawford who beat him up. The small guy, right? The small guy beat him up. Why hasn't this guy returned? He got beat up by the small guy. We finna see Turk gripping Canelo's hand tight. Hey, Blunts, man, come on now. We are trying to keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? Educational freaking live. We don't want to see Canelo holding Turki Al-Sheikh's garment. Hey, we don't want to see that, bro. We don't want to assume. Juice Lee in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they so mad Bud finna get the Canelo fight. Oh my God, after all the distractors that was out here saying that it doesn't make sense and they was cop blocking and Errol Spencer's gonna get this and you know Canelo, he don't gain nothing by fighting Bud. Well, not by boss. Turki Alla boss, Big Turk. He said, I can make this fight happen, goddammit. Sports Prediction 101 in the building. What's good with it, man? I see you. Hey, Turki Al-Sheikh said, I got the funds. You know what I'm saying? I have them dollar bills. I have the wire transfer code. Yes, sir. When you do that balance inquiry, look, one thing Canelo don't have to worry about is if the money is in escrow or not. They complain about Turki Al-Sheikh, but I haven't heard one. I'm talking about one. I haven't felt one eyelash hit the ground from someone getting all emotional. Come on, man, my pay ain't hit. My pay ain't hit. No. You know, I haven't heard one fighter return back to the States, man, and say, man, don't fuck with Turki Al-Sheikh, dog. It sound all good at the end of the day, man. Man, I'm used to being out on these streets pimping, man, and he ain't no pimp, man. I asked for him to give me my money, man. He didn't have it, man. I had to snatch Turki up, man. I had to go in his pockets, man. I said, run them pockets, Turk. Man, I ain't heard one fighter complaining about Turki Al-Sheikh not paying them, bro. Not one. Let me put that up there because I want the replay game to know that right there is going to be fight of the MFing year. But Turbiev and Bivol is not going to be able to touch it. Benavidez Morel's not going to be able to touch it. Tank Roach is not going to be able to touch it. Keyshawn Baranchik not going to be able to touch it. Hitchens T.O., if that shit happened, whoever T.O. fight. T.O. in the local goddamn apple tree, that ain't going to be able to touch it. It ain't no fight's going to be out there to be able to touch this fight. This is the fight of the century, man. Yeah, Bud been a part of the boxing pantheon. He's been up there with those angels, those boxing angels, man. He's been up there. You just haven't seen how they've been blessing him. You know, certain people are meant to feel the wrath. Like I always say, the testament of a man is not in comfort and convenience, but through challenge and controversy. And freaking Bud Crawford has shown us on several occasions that he's blessed. You know what I'm saying? He has had the escort of those boxing angels. Yes, he has shown that. He has shown that. Y'all know it. Y'all know that man blessed. Yeah, I would say that. If I'm thinking about it, if I had to give a percentage around the world, which I'm just looking at boxing. I don't really go around the world. I'm thinking the percentage of the population that knows who Bud Crawford is and support him probably sitting at about 71%. You know what I'm saying? About 71. Yeah, 71. We gotta take in consideration the mental health people who don't have access to the internet. You know what I'm saying? That may be locked up or whatever. 71% of those who are free and able to access social media. Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure. Yeah. Crawford is a serious. It's like when say he's gonna take over, we all laugh. Oh, poor analogy. That shit was terrible. That shit was terrible. You bringing presidents into a boxing topic? That was absolutely horrid. Oh my god! Please, if you're gonna attempt to insult Crawford, make it worth my while, man. Be kind of shifty with it, clever. You know what I'm saying? Be a thespian at the end of the day. Take out some tools and be a wordsmith. I mean, something to make me laugh or something, bro. Don't. No, that's not it, bro. That's like eating pecan shells. You know what I'm saying? Just because that shit gonna taste like Captain Crunch. You know what I'm saying? Come on, be better. Be better. That was just so bland. Come on, man. Errol's still the topic of Crawford conversation. No, hey, I wouldn't say he's the topic of Crawford's conversation. It's just when we have fallen fighters, like they're trying so much to establish unions across the sport. They're trying a lot to establish boxing unions. And at this point in time, with the absence of Errol Spence at the hands of Terrence Crawford, I think he would be one of the good faces, to be a part of the union, to help these fighters once they left the sport, to have them like on a small pension. You know what I'm saying? Give them some health benefits, be able to help them out going to the doctor. For real. Because I don't know how much money Errol Spence has made in his career, but he might be one of those guys when he's 45 years old coming back to the ring. You know what I'm saying? He may be the one that's out there fighting Greg Hackett. Real talk. Greg Hackett, he's a licensed boxer. He might get the opportunity to fight Spence when he's in his 40s. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dog. Think I'm lying. Yeah, man, 71%. I mean, that's being fair, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's with integrity. Just straight up, my faith in the Holy Spirit and all that. That's just being fair, bro. Real talk, honest. That's just being honest. That's over 2 hours, bro. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everyone for pulling up as always. Um, I need to go disseminate this thumbnail out to the other collective social media to basically rattle the other fans out there that's busy up here talking about 14. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. Let's not talk about the sweet signs. Let's talk about 14. No, it's not right. But shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Thank y'all for y'all support. Appreciate the ones who supported monetarily. MKB, Haynes Legacy on deck. Till next time, I'm out.